And then Trump said, Vladimir, I have quite the deal for you. We will give you every liberal TikToker, every woman on TikTok with a nose ring in exchange to end the war with Ukraine. And then Vladimir said, Mr. President, we would like nothing less than to run the fuck away from your TikTok women. They are causing the end of Western civilization. And that is exactly how the meeting went on the summit for all of you that are missing out. Essentially, Trump and Vladimir Putin out there, they came together and they have created, unironically, one of the most historical moments in the history of the country. This will be in the history books forever. Okay, this will be in the history books literally forever. So lock in, boys and girls. We got to talk about what happened, as well as all the meltdowns that have been going on, because this is Donald Trump, president of the United States, trying to make peace in more countries. You know, he already made a bunch of peace deals and peace treaties. He's trying to catch them all. He's trying to make peace treaties everywhere. What a horrible thing the orange fascist did today. Am I right, guys? What an unbelievable fascist. Making peace? God! How dare he make peace in other countries? So anyway, he met up with Putin to try to make peace between Russia and Ukraine. Now, obviously, I have a lot of insight when it comes to Russia and Ukraine and a lot of opinions that I've covered in the past and that we will be getting to as we go forward. Now, I think that this is something hilarious. The libtards are melting down. Now, you see, the thing is, I say this about everything, okay? If you don't like something, that's valid, okay? But if you don't like literally everything they do, even the good things, then you're a retard. And I say this every time. Like, if you don't like Trump for whatever reason because you think there's a, metaphysical infinite amount of genders and Trump believes in the blasphemous two-gender system that God created when he created the world, that's a reason to hate Trump, all right? Sure. But if you hate Trump for everything, like trying to make peace, you're probably retarded. It's like the people that say the Jews did everything bad in the history of the world. Now, realistically, did the Jews do bad things? Yeah, everyone did bad things. Everything? Oh, come on, you can start blaming the bad weather on the Jews. You went too far, okay? I'll be real. So, anywho, lock in, boys and girls. We have quite the deep dive to do today. This is awesome. In my opinion, it's a really good thing that Trump actually got a personal one-on-one meeting with Putin and tried his absolute best to make peace. This is an objectively good thing, an objective net positive for the world. And in my opinion, all the libtards losing their shit over this, I can't believe Trump would meet a dictator, literally would rather people die while they virtue signal about their deaths than anything else. It's like all the people that are out there chanting and yelling and screaming, protesting for Ukraine and Palestine and everything, but they don't actually want peace. They want a virtue signal on the corpses of children. So anyway, that's my opinion on virtue signalers. So this was Trump and Putin, and I gotta start things off with possibly one of the biggest ball, epic flex maneuvers of all time. You are not ready. You are not ready. So this is Trump and Putin. They're walking down this red carpet that he had laid out, all right? And everything's going well. And all of a sudden, what's this noise? Mr. Orange Man, what's this noise? And then in the sky, the B-2 bomber just flies overhead. Trump didn't even look! But Vladimir was like, holy ballsack, this is just IRL aura farming, I'm not gonna lie. And he's like, oh, nice balls, Mr. President. I approve, very cool. And he's like, yes, I know, Vladimir, I know. My balls are big, and so are my bombs. And realistically, I think this is like such a based fuck you moment. It really is. Like, I saw, and I'm not even joking, I saw liberals shitting themselves on Twitter saying, I can't believe the taxpayer money is paying for the gasoline used by the planes to fly. What a waste of money. And you people suck. You people suck. All of you. You are pathetic little shitting, pissing babies. This was badass and based, and sometimes the flex is important. You just complain for the sake of complaining at this point. It is absolutely unreal. So I think that this is one of the greatest memes in the history of the world. This is probably the greatest meme of all time. So this is Putin getting asked questions by the press for the first time. We're going to be looking at their actual press conference later. The actual questions that they do answer. I think it's actually very telling. I didn't see it yet. I'm very excited. However, this meme is everywhere now.
Thank you, press. Let's go.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, because that's how the press asks. He's like, Mr. President, I don't understand, Mr. Trump. You let these swine, these lower people ask you questions? They expect you to answer their questions, Mr. President? And they yell like fucking baby toddlers? I think this expression is...
Thank you.
That is fucking gold. He's just like, what the fuck is happening, brother? Now listen, not a Vladimir Putin fan myself, but this is crazy. In Russia, reporters get murdered for less. But anyway, anywho, I think that's just, that expression is absolute gold. It's like such gold. Just can't believe how the press asks questions. It just looks around like baffled. I think it's fucking hilarious. Anyway, Putin said, apparently, he can confirm that the Ukraine war would have never started if Trump was president. Trump will never, ever, ever stop mentioning this. Just get ready for this to be included in his future repertoire of shit. Okay, this is going to be in the Trump self-glazed manifesto of all time. So for the future, when Trump talks about the war, he's like, not my war, Biden's war, never would have started if I was president. Putin even admitted it. Get ready, that is getting included into the Trump verbiage. That is getting inundated into the Trump codex immediately. All right, now, and also, to be clear, I agree this war would not have happened if Trump was president. Trump, in the eyes of the world, okay, and this is because I've spoken to a lot of people from Russia, actually, believe it or not. In the eyes of the world, Trump's a madman, and you don't want a madman with a nuclear button, okay? So you don't want to piss off a madman with a nuclear button, all right? I'm not even joking. And I think that that's kind of how the world thought of it. So no one actually wanted to start shit while he was president, because he's a madman with nukes. So, again, he's a pretty chaotic motherfucker. So, I believe him, I'll be honest. I actually believe Putin that he wouldn't have started the war if Trump was president at the time. So, and that's what I've been saying the whole time. So now, the Democrats, they're losing their mind. How dare Trump smile and shake hands and have a casual conversation with Putin? But meanwhile, every single Democrat of all time had smiled and shook hands and had positive conversations with all of them. You got Hillary, you got Brandon, you got Hillary's husband, you got Oblungus. Bro, they all did this, every single one of them. And they all failed miserably, by the way. They didn't stop him from doing shit. Let's not forget that under Obama, he attacked Croatia. Under Biden, he started this entire war. Hillary wasn't even around. She was too busy, getting her husband to rape children on Epstein's Island, allegedly. Who knows? But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, everyone's losing their mind that Trump is trying to stop a war that was started on a different president's term. And say, how dare you be friendly with Putin? Every single one of these motherfuckers was friendly with Putin. You gotta stop. Now, Melania Trump wrote this letter to Putin, and I think that Melania is goated. I think she's the best first lady, possibly Crimea, not Croatia, I'm sorry. And the best first lady in the history of America. I think she is. I think she's had such a positive force on the country. From Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States of America. Dear President Putin, every child shares the same quiet dreams in their heart, whether born randomly into a nation's rustic countryside or magnificent city center. They dream of love, possibility, and safety from danger. As parents, it is our duty to nurture the next generation's hope. As leaders, the responsibility to sustain our children extends beyond the comfort of a few. Undeniably, we must strive to paint a dignity-filled world for all, so that every soul may wake to peace, and so the future itself is perfectly guarded. A simple yet profound concept, Mr. Putin, as I'm sure you agree, is that each generation's descendants begin their lives with a purity and innocence which stands above geography, government, and ideology. Yet, in today's world, some children are forced to carry a quiet laughter, untouched by the darkness around them, a silent defiance against the forces that potentially claim their future. Mr. Putin, you can single-handedly restore their melodic laughter. In protecting the innocence of these children, you can do more than serve Russia alone. You serve humanity itself. Such a bold idea transcends all human division, and you, Mr. Putin, are fit to implement this vision with stroke of a pen today. It is time. Sincerely, Melania Trump, with the most Trump... This is Trump's signature. She married the man and took his signature, his squiggles. Anyway, I think that this was a goated letter. A little bit of emotional pressure, a little bit of emotional manipulation. Some classic woman-style politics, if you know what I'm saying. But I think that this is a good thing. This is a fucking good thing. And whatever. I think she's been absolutely on point, literally the entire time. And she's pretty great about that. How dare Trump shake the hand of Putin? And he smiled, says the libtard hordes, while their fucking caucus pedophile organizations all do that shit too. All of them. They all do it. Every single one of them. Oh my god, you suck. So this is Brian Krasenstein. He's a libtard journalist. He's actually like a far leftist. He's one of those radical Hamas supporting fucking freaks, like Hassan Piker tier, almost. They should have had snipers in Anchorage, Alaska, ready to take him out as soon as he shrugged. Correction, we should poison him instead. Makes it less obvious. Like, motherfucker, you are not helping anyone! You are not helping anyone! Journalist, fucking journalist out there, just and the thing is, he's called for the assassination of Trump before, okay? So, you don't even know if he's talking about Trump or Putin here, but he has called for the assassination of Trump, this Brian Krasenstein, to the point that he has been investigated by the FBI for some of his tweets, all right, in the past. Like, the libtards are insane. Why is Brian allowed to incite violence against Putin? What does this libtard get to say things while conservatives get removed for far less? True, by the way. I don't know if you're aware, but my content's been crazy stifled. I'm getting everything demonetized right now on my channel. And it's basically been every single time I get a little bit edgy, I talk about a little thing like, you know, rapists that are being migrated into countries in the West. All of a sudden, the fucking corpo overlords are like, whoa, 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 we gotta protect those rapists that are being imported into the West. Obviously, this is important. Now, American jets escorted Putin's plane to Russia, right? So this is him flying, and the American jets were following him the entire way. Again, I think it's pretty gangster. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's pretty gangster. It really is. Not gonna lie, it's a gangster maneuver. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, for those who may be confused, this is how an American president should treat Putin. Look at Obama looking at Putin and not smiling. Wow. Look how he's not smiling when he's talking to Putin. That's a big, strong man. Is there any better example of an empty suit than Obama was? And the left's obsession with optics over substance? Putin took Crimea, and Obama, which is a country, which was a city in Ukraine at the time, and Obama only agreed to send blankets. Oh, but he totally owned him in a staring contest. And also he's black, so therefore he's also woke. He's black and good at staring contests. Oh, and also he dropped 26,000 bombs in the Middle East and murdered more children than Israel did in Gaza. But, you know, with the child to combatant ratio of soldiers to civilians. So this motherfucker, he's a whole ass war criminal according to these people. But it doesn't matter because they love him. All right, they love him. They love him because he stared at Putin while Putin took Crimea, the entire region of Ukraine. Very cool, classic guy. Now anyway, very cool. It's crazy how much more respectful Putin was than Zelensky, and I think that goes to show a long way. Here you have Zelensky being honestly insufferable in the White House, and now I'm not like some pro-Russia guy. I'm really not. And you have Zelensky over here yelling at Trump in the White House that he needs more money, and Trump obviously yelled at him back. Disrespectful as fuck. And here you have Putin and Trump having a nice, respectful conversation. Now, you could argue that Putin's the bad guy, but you could also argue, and I think this is a better argument, that America gave Ukraine $350 billion. $350 billion. Okay, do you understand what I am saying? With all due respect, this dude should be fucking groveling on his hands and knees, glazing Orange's golden burglets. Okay, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. He bent him over his knee and spanked his ass. Yes, now, again, I don't envy Zelensky's position. Obviously, they're at war. They're losing. Okay, they are. Reality doesn't like that news, but they are losing. They will inevitably lose. If there isn't more Western intervention and the war continues, they will lose. That's just a fact, unfortunately, a fact of life. And here you have him. He walks into the White House and he basically tries to blackmail Trump and emotionally blackmail Trump in front of the media. And Trump wouldn't have it. He stood on business. And Putin was respectful. Now, in my opinion, I think that this is a big contrast. If you want to talk to someone, you don't humiliate them in public, especially when they are the hand that feeds you. Absolutely diabolical. Now, while Putin was here, he did a couple things that a lot of people are talking about. For example, this is Putin going to the graves of Soviets that fought on the American side in World War II. Yeah, and you can't help but respect something like this. I'll be honest. Now, anyway, anywho, it's crazy because Congress shits on our soldiers, but Putin somehow respects them. Like, it's such an optic nightmare for America, like the libtards in general, there's no obviously the libtards are losing it. Obviously the libtards hate this shit because like it's just a gesture and it doesn't mean a whole lot when it's just a gesture, but it's a gesture that no one on the left in America actually does. And that's why it's so fucking impactful. It's crazy. It really, really is. Now, now it's making sense why the liberals are despising Putin. Putin introduces forced chemical castration for all pedophiles in Russia. Based! Based! Bro whipped out the penis guillotine, baby. I'm just saying. Now, anyway, just in, it's 3 a.m. President Trump arrived back in D.C. after 20-hour nonstop work, heading to Alaska and back while negotiating with Putin. No one ever worked this hard for our country. The man is a workhorse, an absolute workhorse. Right? Look at him. He doesn't stop. He does not stop. Bro's been grinding nonstop. Saying that, and then people are like, oh, he took a weekend off playing golf while X is happening in the world. This motherfucker has been grinding like crazy, whether you like it or not. Now, this is a clip from the meeting that we're about to look at.
I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an
Oh,
interesting
shit.
one.
Now, this is the first time, by the way, this is the first time he ever spoke English in public, like on American news. All right? Because he only talks Russia with like a translator. He speaks Russian with a translator. But the first time he spoke English on American news is next time in Moscow. And that's crazy.
I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
So anyway, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I want peace. Obviously, my breath. I'm not holding my breath, in my opinion. I'll be honest. I'll be real. I don't think that that this is really gonna get too far. But I guess we'll see what happens. So, here's the clip with the stealth bomber, right? That's the one I had before that I couldn't find. So, compare this to how Trump and Vance treated Zelensky in the Oval Office. It says everything about Trump's priorities. Libtard meltdown. Look, here you have Putin smiling in a car, okay? And here you have Zelensky being yelled at in the White House. Where are the priorities of America? Putin didn't steal $300 billion from me to fund his coke habit and buy his wife a Bugatti, nor did he disrespect the Oval Office. This has 40,000 likes. This is obviously the narrative that's winning online, because Zelensky did treat us as Americans kind of like a free cookie jar. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar a little bit too much. While even though I do think ultimately he is the victim in this Russia-Ukraine conflict, I don't think that there is zero blame to be on him. I think that he extended this way more than it needed to be extended. And he honestly doesn't even look like he's trying to get peace. He wants like a forever war that drags the rest of the world into it as well. Now, it's a sad situation. It really is. It really is. But, and you have more and more of these clips. After his meeting with Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin went to lay flowers at the graves of Soviet pilots in Alaska that fought against the Axis powers in World War II. Like, and he just goes, yeah. And you can't help but respect something like this. I'll be real. Like, I don't agree with what he does with Russia. I don't like the fact that there's a war killing thousands of people a week. But you can't help but respect this. And honestly, the left hates it. The left absolutely hates it. It's crazy. It is absolutely diabolical. It really is. Realistically, this is an old clip of Bill Clinton talking about Putin. And I think that this is an incredibly poignant clip to all the retards that are saying, why is Trump smiling at Putin?
Look, Mr. Putin he's very smart.
Well, you know him better than most people.
Yeah, I do.
What was he like behind closed doors, away from, the sort of the public utterances?
Smart and remarkably, we had a really good, blunt relationship.
Hang
on.
Brutally blunt.
Ever fisticuffs?
No, but I think the right strategy most of the time but it's frustrating to people in your line of work. You should be brutally honest with people in private. And then if you want them to help you, try to avoid embarrassing them in public.
Right.
Now, sometimes they do things which make it impossible for you to keep quiet.
Look, I don't like Bill Clinton. I think he's probably a pedophile, in my opinion. He went to Epstein's Island 28 times. That's pretty suspicious as fuck. However, he's right. He's completely correct.
But by and large, I found all the people I dealt with appreciated it if I told them the truth. how I honestly felt and what our interests were and what our objectives were. And they also appreciated it when I didn't kick them around in public for as long as I couldn't kick them around. So, that's my experience. And
did Putin ever...
So honestly, this is just a completely normal thing to do. All right? That's the point. The point is, it's a completely normal thing to do. Showing good graces with a world leader that you want something from in public to not humiliate them is absolutely the correct move. All right? Like the left expects, they don't expect it, but what they want is for Trump to say, Putin, you're a bad man, Putin. You're bad and short and going bald. I don't respect you. I don't like what you're doing. Thousands are dying, you little bitch. Dude, that is what the left in America wants him to do. This will not help anyone. It will not stop the war. It'll only make them angrier, and it will in no way save a single life. It is absolutely retard position, and that is literally what they're doing. That is absolutely what they're doing, I mean, look at what Biden did. He basically did nothing. Now, the Democrats, the official Democrats Twitter said, Trump invited a dictator onto U.S. soil just to get his shit rocked. This is what the Democrats Twitter said. Unbelievable. And the irony is, this is a procession. Okay, this is a big procession done in the streets of California for the Chinese Communist Party, thrown by Gavin Newsom and the fucking libtard retards. Anyway, you get the idea. They're all such hypocritical fucks. Every single one of them. They're all retards. Everyone. An army of retards. So Canada, another woke retard situation. Canada is obviously saying, I cannot believe Trump would welcome Putin into America. He's a war criminal. He's bad. You should be mean to Putin. How can you be nice to Putin? You should be mean to Putin. Of course, Canada's also having their meltdowns, obviously. They're fucking woke freaks over there. And let's be real. Canadians need to calm down about Trump getting a red carpet for Putin. It's not like Trump invited an actual Nazi into Canada's House of Commons. But you know who did? Canada! That's right, baby! Canada did! Justin Trudeau! Yep, they invited Yaroslav Hunka, an actual Nazi, like a literal Nazi, who fought for the Nazis into the House of Commons, and they gave him a standing ovation. They apologized a week later when they're like, oops, we didn't realize he was a Nazi. But this is the kind of thing you fact check. Okay, this happened literally, I think like a year ago in Canada. And dude, Canada's such a clown show. I'm so happy I left. How dare Trump shake the hand of Putin? And he smiled. No. Fun fact, Vladimir Putin didn't spy on the Trump campaign in 2016. The traitor on the right did that. Now we actually have open documents proving that Obama invented the Russia hoax, saying that Trump was working with Russia, and it's forever impacted him. It's impacted Trump constantly for the entirety of the last 10 years. Everyone's saying that he's working for Russia, and realistically, it was Obama that fucking pushed that shit. I made a video on that already. I think it's treason, in my opinion. And then it's like, I can't believe America has fallen so far. Here you have Biden, a man with dementia and prostate cancer, standing next to Zelensky. And here you have Trump trying to make peace of the war that Biden started. I'm not sure what the own is. I am not sure what the own is on the Trump lie tracker commentary account. But you keep coping, my brother. You keep doing that. Now, Midas Touch, he's one of the biggest leftist podcasts in the world. He said Trump struggled to walk a straight line when he met Putin. So, as you can see, this is footage of Trump walking, and he's kind of zigzagging, right? He does a little bit of a zigzag here. He does. I mean, he is, 80 fucking years old. So here he is doing a bit of a zigzag on the red carpet, and all of a sudden this went super viral. Everyone started calling him out. Trump is old. Trump has dementia. How dare you make fun of Biden for falling down the stairs 3 times when Trump is walking in zigzags? He's so old. Now, a lot of people decided to point out something very funny. I think very funny. Zigging and zagging is actually a common tactic used by experienced combat veterans, even in casual situations. I just whenever I'm pulled over for DUI. Based! Now, the funny thing is, if someone tried to assassinate me twice, alright, I would be walking in zigzags for the rest of my life. I'll just be honest. Biden fell up the stairs 3 times on a single flight. People tried to shoot Trump in the head multiple times, and he zigzags when he walks. In my opinion, unfathomably based. Agent DJT on the job. Now, I have to show you this because I think this is amazing. Notice how he sped it up so you can see the zigzag, right? If you look at it at normal speed, all right, let's just let's do some forensic analysis. Normal speed Donald Trump walk. All right, so what do we got? All right, he's walking. He's walking. He's still walking. And here's that alleged zigzag happening because he takes moves a little to that. That's it. That's the whole fucking clip. In my opinion, this is like a nothing. This is like the most ultimate nothing of all time. Like, this is an 80-year-old man walking, all right? He didn't fall off the red carpet. He didn't trip on nothing. He didn't trip falling up the stairs. He didn't fucking fall off of his bike, all right? Like, dude, they are coping so hard. It's unbelievable. This is a tweet with 80,000 likes and 13 million views. Everyone is talking about this now, how he's incapable to run for president when the last president was literally a sack of bones high on acid the entire time. So Trump tweets this after the actual Senate. A great and successful day in Alaska. The meeting with President Vladimir Putin of Russia went very well, as did a late-night phone call with President Zelensky of Ukraine and various European leaders, including the highly respected Secretary General of NATO. It was determined by all that the best way to end this horrific war between Russia and Ukraine is to go directly to a peace agreement, which would end the war, and not a mere ceasefire agreement, which oftentimes do not hold up. President Zelensky will be coming to D.C., the Oval Office. Oh, here we go again. On Monday afternoon. We are moving along, gamers. Oh my God. Very excited for Zelensky to come and say, thank you, Mr. President, for trying to make peace. Anyway, we want more money. If all works out, we will then schedule a meeting with President Putin. Potentially millions of people's lives will be saved. Thank you for your attention to this matter. In my opinion, this is a banger. I really want to see peace come from this. That would be amazing. Obviously, the libtards will still cry, and, you know, they'll say, but he promised peace on day one, and it's not day one. That's okay. That's okay. Let them cry as long as people aren't dying. I literally don't care. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. So let's do a deep dive onto this entire meeting situation. We got to see what actually happened before I give you a nuanced opinion. So lock in, boys and girl. Here we go.
So there he is. President of the United States of America emerges from Air Force One. Big moment for Trump. But this, of course, is a president who relishes big moments indeed.
Hey!
In many ways, his presidency is about creating big moments just like this.
Dude, this is easily the worst reporter of all time. There's President Trump making big moments again. All these big moments that Trump is doing. Look at this. He just relishes in big moments. He keeps trying to make big moments. Absolute retard. He's trying to stop a war that's killing tens of thousands of people a week. A week, bro. What are you doing? Dude, I'm telling you, the media is absolutely lobotomized. They are lobotomized.
And I assume the plan is for him to get to the bottom of those steps and then go off to welcome President Putin.
I believe the plan of Donald Trump is to get to the bottom of the steps. No fucking shit! That's what happens every time someone walks down steps. That's why I am the media. They are no longer the media. I am the media. And you know how I know I'm the media? Because I'm getting demonetized by the fucking retards in YouTube land. All right, I just got a video taken down by YouTube. I'm getting demonetized on half my shit now. Definitely hit the join button to support your boy. Let's up those numbers. Share it around because this shit. But for those of you unaware, my videos only get shown to subscribers at this point. They're like not even being pushed in the algorithm. I get like 80% of my views from subscribers. Like, it's actually insane. So dude, it's wild. And they're trying so hard, and I'm still bigger than your average media fucking retard.
To this Air Force base, and there is the picture.
There it is.
Two presidents about to, I won't say decide the future of Ukraine, but certainly talk about the future of Ukraine and have huge influence on what that future is.
Two presidents.
For Ukraine. And although many in Ukraine will welcome the fact that this is happening, that things are moving perhaps towards a ceasefire, there will equally be many in Ukraine who are very worried about what is about to happen. So
dude, these are like actual nothing statements, man. These are like actual nothing statements. It's diabolical. There are people in Ukraine hopeful, but there are people in Ukraine you're worried. Yeah, thank you. That's everyone on the planet at all times about everything.
Each of them walk down their respective red carpets and
I'm dying.
will soon be together.
They will soon be together.
And for Vladimir Putin, he couldn't get here quickly enough, Martha. This is an opportunity for him. Donald Trump has given him that opportunity.
All right.
He has been a pariah, certainly in the West, and Donald Trump has given him the opportunity to come here and take his place back at the top table of global diplomacy. And that, I guess, is already a victory for Putin.
Dude, I hate the media so much. I literally hate the media so much. As you watch the president berating on the tarmac. Bro, motherfucker, what are you doing? And you're really trying to say this is a win for Putin? What a win for Putin, handed to him by Trump because he's meeting Trump, which is a win for Putin because he's been a pariah. When the essay has a word count, commentary.
Just walking behind that jet and is emerging now.
And a little clap from President Trump to announce the arrival of Vladimir Putin.
Oh my God, these people are horrible. A little clap, a little clap. And then you know, they shook hands and Trump was like, so Vladimir, maybe stop killing babies, huh? And Vladimir was like, oh no, I love killing babies. It's my favorite thing to kill. They don't even fight back. Okay, I'm pretty sure that that's not exactly what they said, but I imagine it was something along those lines.
And there it is, all looked good-natured. They looked pretty pleased to see each other. And
yeah, they were just on planes forever. Oh my fucking God. This is the worst narrator I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, we're moving on.
So we understand they're about to get off this plane, Brett. So
we're never listening to Sky News England ever again.
Understand they're about to get off this plane, Brett.
All right, so this is what we just saw.
And this is a moment.
It's a moment. It's a moment. They got off the plane. They do their wandering. They do their walking around. There's Vladimir and President Trump just walking. And here's the moment. I love this moment, dude. He just gives 2 claps, bro. He gives 2 little claps with the Vtube armor flying overhead. And he leans in. That's what we could have done to you any day we wanted. You saw what happened to your buddies in Iran, right? We know where you live, Vladimir. I'm sure that's not what he said. That's for you, sir. Just for you. Take the deal. Look how short you are, Vladimir.
President Putin, will you agree to a ceasefire?
Oh my fucking God, I hate the media so much. Mr. Putin, Mr. Putin, what about a ceasefire?
Mr. President, what's your message? Mr. Putin, did you underestimate Ukraine?
Mr. Putin, did you? Yeah, he's gonna say yes. My fucking asshole, he's gonna say, yeah. Yes, actually, I totally underestimated them. We are unfortunately having to kill them much slower than expected. What the fuck do you expect him to say? Dude, the media is so annoying. And this is just them getting their, like, woke virtue signal brownie points.
President Donald Trump.
President Putin, will you stop killing people? Mr. Putin, Mr. Putin. The media needs to be literally lobotomized. They're like these, like one screaming Karen, probably with CNN in the crowd. Mr. Putin, people are dying, Mr. Putin, because of you, Mr. Putin. And yeah, he's gonna stop because Karen O'Donnell the 14th in the media said he's a bad man. Motherfucker, holy shit.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin meeting on U.S. soil, not answering, shouted.
CNN brought in a body language expert to analyze Trump's clap. There's no fucking way.
Reporter questions, a military flyover happening right.
And then he says, then Trump pats Putin on the back. See what I have to deal with every single day?
Now, as they get ready to go into a private meeting, not exactly one-on-one, they have other people in there, but this is
obviously the Jewish cabal that's secretly controlling all of the world is in that room.
Moment that will determine the future of whether there is a ceasefire, a peace deal, or what comes next.
Damn, holy fuck. All right, that's awesome. Anyway, I hope for
America
peace.
And the president.
So this is right after they had their private meeting. All right, just him, Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, and the Jews that had their private meeting. So this is them actually talking to the media. All right, let's see. This is gonna be crazy. I don't know how
the
more
Russian
people
Federation
aren't like losing their shit over this. Like, this is President Putin, all right, a dictator essentially, talking to the fucking media after a 3-hour meeting with Trump and the Jews. All right, I have to stop saying that. People are gonna believe me. All right.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, our negotiations have been held in a constructive atmosphere of mutual respect. We have very thorough negotiations that were quite useful. I would like to thank once again my American counterpart for the proposal to travel out here to Alaska. It only makes sense that we've met here because our countries, though separated by the oceans, are close neighbors. So when we've met when I came out of the plane, and I've said, "Good afternoon, dear neighbor. Very good to see you. In good health and to see you alive." I think that is very neighborly.
He literally does the same thing, bro. And then I came off plane and I saw Trump and I was like, "Oh, hello, neighborly friend. It's so good to see you in good health." And he was like, "You too, Vladimir. Good health forever." Yes, absolutely. Hell yes. And then they looked at each other, we shook hands, then we spoke for 3 hours.
And I think that's some kind words that we can say to each other. We're separated by the Strait of Bering, though there are 2 islands only between the Russian island and the US island. They're only 4 kilometers apart. We're close neighbors, and it's a fact. It's also important that Alaska has to do with our common heritage, common history between Russia and the US, and many positive events have to do with that territory. Still, there is tremendous cultural heritage back from the Russian America. For example, Orthodox churches and a lot of more than 700 geographical names of Russian origin. During the Second World War, it was here in Alaska that was the origin of the legendary air bridge for the supply of military aircraft and other equipment under the Lend-Lease program. It was a dangerous and treacherous route over the vast emptiness of ice. However, the pilots of both countries did everything to bring closer the victory. They risked their lives and they gave it all for the common victory. I was just in the city of Magadan in
Look, man, we could talk a big game. We could talk a big freaking game. We have so much shared heritage. Me and you and me. Russian Orthodox churches all over the place in Alaska. It's beautiful. We are friendly and neighbors. We suck each other's penises once a week. Just to make sure we understand this long-distance relationship is very difficult for us. However, we are trying our absolute utmost to become friendly and neighborly and even connected in closer ways than... Motherfucker, get to the peace deal! Bro! No one cares! Dude! What are you doing? Oh my god.
Russia, and there is a memorial.
We shared the Cold War together. It was very romantic.
There, dedicated.
Remember that time where your pilot got to the moon? That was fake, and he's Vladimir, that moon landing was real. Nice try. The moon landing was fake. I know it because there is no moon. The Jews invented space. I saw Candace Owens talking about that.
To the Russian and the US pilots, and there are 2 flags, the US flag and the Russian flag. And I know that here as well there is such a memorial. There is a military burial place several kilometers away from here. The Soviet pilots that buried there who died during that dangerous mission. We're thankful to the citizens and the government of the US for carefully taking care of their memory. I think that's
very respectful. That is very respectful.
Very worthy and noble. We'll always remember other historical examples when our countries defeated common enemies together in the spirit of battle camaraderie.
Yeah, and now you're you're keeping a war going that's killing thousands of people a week. Like, I appreciate our history of camaraderie and friendship and all, but like, you gotta stop killing people. Sir, please, if that's okay, please.
And allyship that supported each other and facilitated each other. I'm sure that this heritage will help us rebuild and foster mutually beneficial and equal ties at this new stage, even during the hardest conditions. You know that there have been no summits between Russia and the US for 4 years, and that's a long time. This time was...
Damn, so communications were just closed with Biden. Holy fucking shit. Yikes. That's wild. Oh my lord. Dude, it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane that, one, you have Putin kissing Trump's ass. All right, I never thought I would live to see that. And 2, but that's Trump. You gotta kiss his ass to make any headway with this guy. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's some crazy aura shit, but it actually works. Like, I'll be real. Everyone that doesn't glaze Trump gets bitch slapped across the Pacific. If you do kiss his ass, you have a chance. Like, this is negotiation tactics with Donald J. Trump. Anyway, so obviously he spent the last 4 minutes tickling the balls of America, doing his absolute best. Yeah, it's kind of about the war now that everyone's worried about, though.
It's very hard for bilateral relations, and let's be frank.
And honestly, I'm gonna be real here. Biden fucked up so badly. He said that he doesn't mind if Russia has a small incursion into Ukraine, which kicked off the entire war, by the way, which Hassan Piker said was never going to happen. And it did happen, and thousands of people are dying every week. And Joe Biden out there, he closed communications. Like, this is why the libtard playbook is so retarded. They canceled him. Like, you know how they cancel someone for being transphobic on the internet? They canceled Putin. I know no one's ever allowed to collab with him anymore. So no one can talk to him, because if you talk to him, you're automatically a bad guy. It's this guilt by association bullshit that is so fucking frustrating. And Biden didn't have open communications with this guy. Biden was a walking, talking, living, breathing sack of potatoes. He didn't do fucking shit. Right? So it is a retarded as fuck mindset that the entire liberal establishment needs to be like, Putin bad, and therefore we will not talk to him. Infinite money to Ukraine. This is like, it's not a solution at all. Literally not at all. You guys suck. All right? I'll be real. This entire mindset of you're not allowed to have meetings with your enemies. Bro, you don't need peace meetings with your friends. The only people you need peace meetings with is with your enemies.
They've fallen to the lowest point since the Cold War. I think that's not benefiting our countries and the world as a whole. It is apparent that sooner or later we had to amend the situation to move on from the confrontation to dialogue. And in this case, a personal meeting between the heads of state has been long overdue. Naturally,
I love how you could tell that Putin doesn't actually give a shit about the media. Like, you could tell that Russian media is just completely controlled. So all he really is doing here is like a random America-Russia fluff piece. We are friends so long ago, always friends. We love each other. Because ultimately, all decisions in Russia are just made behind closed doors, right? It's the media is not involved. Democracy is not really a thing. The people aren't really, they don't need to know. They don't need to fucking know. All right, so for him, the closed door meeting is so much more important than actually talking to the media, because from his perspective, their purpose is just broadcasting his words to people, not actually getting involved in shit. It's such a different, like, ideological, cultural perspective.
Under the condition of serious and painstaking work, and this work has been done in general. Me and President Trump have very good direct contact. We've spoken multiple times. We spoke frankly on the phone. And special envoy of the president, Mr. Witkoff, traveled out to Russia several times. Our advisors and heads of foreign ministries kept in touch all the time. And you know fully well that one of the central issues was the situation around Ukraine. We see the strive of President Trump personally to help facilitate the resolution of the Ukrainian conflict, and his strive to get to the crux of the matter, to understand this history, is precious. As I've said, the situation in Ukraine has to do with fundamental threats to our security. Moreover, we've always considered the Ukrainian nation, and I've said it multiple times, a blue nation. However strange it may sound in these conditions, we have the same...
Okay, that's something, right? That's something. Like, until now, he has always, like, kind of refused to acknowledge Ukraine as a sovereign nation. All right.
Roots, and everything that's happening is a tragedy for us and terrible wound. Therefore, the country is sincerely interested in putting an end to it. At the same time, we're convinced that in order to make the settlement lasting and long-term, we need to eliminate all the primary roots, the primary causes of that conflict. And we've said it multiple times, to consider all legitimate concerns of Russia and to reinstate a just balance of security in Europe and in the world on the whole. And I agree with President Trump, as he has said today, that naturally the security of Ukraine should be ensured as well. Naturally, we're prepared to work on that. I would like to hope that the agreement that we've reached together will help us bring closer that goal and will pave the path towards peace in Ukraine. We expect that Kiev and European capitals will perceive that constructively and that they won't throw a wrench in the works. They will not make any attempts to use some backroom dealings to conduct provocations to torpedo the nascent progress.
All right.
Incidentally, when the new administration came to power, bilateral trade started to grow. It's still very symbolic. Still, we have a growth of 20%. As I've said, we have a lot of dimensions for joint work. It is clear that the U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential. Russia and the U.S. can offer each other so much in trade.
It is absolutely crazy watching him just talk about how we should be friends and we are closer than you think. And he's like, he has not mentioned the war. Right? Like, you have to realize, he has not mentioned the fucking war, bro. Like, dude, this is crazy. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Trump is thinking to himself, I might have a sandwich after this. The best sandwich. What a good sandwich I am going to eat. Bro, what are we doing? Bro! I mean, again, this is Putin. I didn't expect anything other than this, to be honest. Like, why is he going to tell the media? What does the media have to do? War? What war?
digital, high-tech, and in space exploration. We see that Arctic cooperation is also very possible, and our international context.
Look, man, all of these things are great, but America's not going to do deals with you until you stop this war in Ukraine, brother, okay? Like you're doing a lot of yapping, and this is very nice to hear, and I'm glad you recognize what could be gained by ending the war, but unless the war ends, you're fucked, dude. It's not happening, bro.
For example, between the Far East of Russia and the West Coast of the US. Overall, it's very important for our countries to turn the page, to go back to cooperation. It is symbolic that not far away from here, at the border between Russia and the US, there is a so-called international date line. I think you can step over, literally, from yesterday into tomorrow. And I hope that we'll succeed in that, in political sphere. I would like to thank President Trump for our joint work, for the well-wishing and trustworthy tone of our conversation. It's important that both sides are result-oriented, and we see that the President of the US has a very clear idea of what he would like to achieve. He sincerely cares about prosperity of his nation. Still, he understands that Russia has its own national interests. I expect that today's agreements will be the starting point, not only for the solution of the Ukrainian issue, but also will help us bring back business-like and pragmatic relations between Russia and the US. And in the end, I would like to add one more thing. I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration,
He didn't talk to Biden? He wasn't even in contact with Biden? Like, since 2022? Like, since the war started, basically? He wasn't even in contact with that guy? Like, I am always shocked every single time when I hear the fucking freaks on the internet losing their mind. Losing their absolute mind. I can't believe Trump didn't end the war yet. When Biden didn't even talk to this motherfucker. Once. All right. Okay. I mean, I do think that this is like a historic moment. This really is going to be in the history books forever. You know, Putin coming here and tickling America's balls a little bit. Like, it's crazy. And I want to see this come to, like, an end of the war. Ultimately, that's the goal.
I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said,
the situation, bro. I love this, bro. I love this, man. Yeah, remember the 9/11 drama that happened? Remember that whole Holocaust drama? Oh man, the Nazi situation was insane. That shit was crazy. Remember that whole Crusades situation that happened back in the day? You remember the Nagasaki and Hiroshima situation? Like, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so.
That is the ultimate glaze ever. I can't believe he actually said this in the press conference. Dude, this man came in there and literally took Donald Trump's entire schlongus down his throat. Holy fucking shit. Dude, in my opinion, we are going to be getting a peace treaty. Otherwise, there's no reason why Vladimir would need to glaze him this hard. He's, in my opinion, okay, here's my prediction. All right, we're going to get some sort of peace treaty moving on over the next, couple of weeks. I'm not saying that peace treaty is going to hold, but I do think that there is going to be a peace treaty of some sort, and Trump is going to make deals with Russia, and America is going to make deals with Russia as like a quote-unquote thank you, all right? Like actual financial trade deals to make it beneficial for Russia, as kind of convincing him through monetary advantages, like for his nation, to stop the war with Ukraine. And I think otherwise, there's no reason why Vladimir would come in here and do like this absolute deep-throating. Anyway, I guess we'll see what happens, but maybe not a peace treaty, maybe just a ceasefire, but it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. We're living in an interesting world, and Trump is the main character.
I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact.
Meanwhile, they did no business, right? Why would he say business-like? Why would he say business-like if they never really did any business? Again, in my opinion, there's going to be some sort of either peace treaty or ceasefire, and that will come paired with trade deals with America. I think that because, like, here you have to understand Putin's perspective also. From Putin's perspective, the moment he backs down and basically says that we're putting our weapons down and we're not going to be taking Ukraine, the people in Russia will see him like a loser, right? It's very honor-based. They will not respect him at all for something like that. So ultimately, if he's able to trade it and say, we took land in Ukraine, obviously some land, which is whatever, what in Russian interest, And we're getting unbelievable trade deals and access and friendship with America. That is a way I think he would be able to spin it to the Russian people. I don't know, man. It's absolutely diabolical. It's absolutely diabolical. We are seeing pieces move. There's a reason why God saved Trump at the fucking Pennsylvania rally, goddammit. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. Whatever happens, we're going to be making content out of it. Yes, sir.
And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. That was very profound, and I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones.
We agreed on most things. Money is good. Being president is pretty fun. And then we disagreed on some little things, like killing thousands of Ukrainians. we didn't see eye to eye on that one.
That we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway.
Yeah, right.
So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them.
Listen, Putin, we want to make a deal with you, okay? This is our deal. You stop the war in Ukraine, and instead, we let you execute all of the pedophiles in our government. What do you say, Mr. Putin? Do we make a deal? Do we make a deal? How about you release the Epstein files?
I have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott and John Ratcliffe. Thank you very much. But we have some of our really great leaders. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here, and I think...
Why are business representatives here? Unless my conspiracy theory is correct. But anyway, we'll see. I am usually right, by the way.
You know, everybody wants to deal with us. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time.
That's what they said in Saudi Arabia. America's the hottest country.
We look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Putin, with Vladimir. We had many tough meetings, good meetings. We were interfered with by the Russia hoax that made it
Thanks, Obama.
Tougher to deal with, but he understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that during the course of his career. He's seen it all, but we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax, but what was done was very criminal, but it made it harder for us to deal with.
Dude, I really want to see people actually go to jail, by the way. I'm not going to lie. I want to see people go to jail. I will not lie. Enough of this shit. For real. I want to see the people that are high in power in the United States that are committing treason or sedition or fucking pedophiles. I want these people in jail. I really do. It is so frustrating that they managed to survive this shit. It's like, it's easily the most frustrating thing in American politics is that these powerful people just get away with literal murder. It's infuriating. And we got to push our country towards that path.
Country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with, but we'll have a good chance when this is over. So,
and by the way, I do think that this is kind of a boomer thing. It's the boomers, all right? The next generation, the younger generation of presidents that, in my opinion, all right, this is maybe me being positive, they're going to do something different, in my opinion, because they know that the younger crowd in America hates the fucking the power dynamic of all these really powerful people getting away with all this shit. It is literally every single young American's most frustrating thing. So in my opinion, we are going to see at some point, like if there was a younger person president, like a Marco Rubio, or even like Charlie Kirk or something, which is insane. I don't see him running for president anytime soon. But someone like that, they are going to get the biggest win of all time by fucking exposing the boomers that have been committing financial fraud and every fucking type of fraud and bullshit and pedophile ring and Russia hoaxes and shit of all time. It's going to be insane.
Just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and his entire team, whose faces, who I know in many cases, other than that, whose faces I get to see all the time in the newspapers. You're almost as famous as the boss. But especially this one right over here. But we had some good meetings over the years, right? Good productive meetings
Trump
over
got
the years.
owned
And
by Putin
we hope
today.
to have that in the future. But let's do the most productive one right now. We're going to stop really 5, 6, 7,000, thousands of people a week from being killed. And President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much. And we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one, but
oh damn!
I can see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir, and thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I don't know, that's crazy. This is like an actual historic fucking thing. It really is. Like, this is an actual historical moment. Like, we are going to be talking about this forever. And of course, I wanted to close out with some of the retards losing their shit. Black Conservative Perspective has like a little compilation of a retard compilation over here of people losing their mind over the Trump-Putin meeting.
They had a meeting in Alaska about Ukraine. Trump rolled out the red carpet for him, literally stood there and applauded him as he came down. They had a meeting.
Yeah, it's called meeting somebody and trying to make a deal. Yeah, you that's how deals work. That's how deals work, but you wouldn't understand that because you literally support Hamas fucking, killing their hostages and people. Yeah, nice job, bro.
A press conference, Putin speaks first. That's unacceptable.
Oh my god, you are such a cuck. It's unreal. Putin speaks first. He spoke first. Oh my god.
The host country's president is supposed to speak first. Putin wouldn't stop. He talked for 6 straight minutes, lecturing the Americans. Trump barely said anything afterwards.
Bro.
So then they asked, did you get anything done? And Trump said,
bro, it froze. Yep.
We couldn't get there. And
first of all, he didn't lecture Americans. We just saw it. He didn't lecture anybody. He was just saying that we are close and shit like that. And I gave my analysis and my perspective, which I think is correct, obviously. Yeah, and no, they didn't get there. What, you expected him to make world peace in a random fucking meeting?
And then asked by Hannity in an interview afterwards whether he disagreed with Putin on anything. He said yes, but he said, okay, so what is it? He said, I'd rather not talk about it publicly. So
yeah, makes sense. What, he's gonna publicly talk about what he disagrees with another world leader that he's trying to make a do these people not understand anything about diplomacy? Like, I'm telling you, the libtard mind, right, the far left freak show mind cannot fathom actually trying to make a peace deal with somebody that you disagree with. They can't fathom it. Holy fuck, they're retarded.
He'd rather not criticize Putin publicly. He seems to get steamrolled by him.
Okay, obviously you're not going to criticize somebody that you're trying to make a deal with publicly. What are we doing? Oh my god. And by the way, he did. When Putin bombed like the civilian city, which one was it that they attacked? I think it was Kiev. When they bombed Kiev, Trump literally shit on him in public because that's unacceptable, and he had to make sure that he had a line in the sand somewhere. All right, but when it comes to just negotiation tactics, you're not going to talk about this publicly, obviously.
So looks like a pretty much of a disaster. I like that he's negotiating for peace, but brother, this ain't the way to do it.
I just watched
which is like this is a terrible TikTok, bro. Like, you do not want Trump to make peace because you just don't like Trump, okay? Again, this is Chank Younger. He supports fucking horses. Actually, this is a real thing that he does support. I've showed it in previous videos. He actually does support bestiality. That is one of his stances that I think is surprising. But he's like a complete retard. Like, dude, I'm telling you, the libtard mind cannot grasp actually making a deal with somebody. Like, it's insane. Anyway, on to gay.
Entirety of Donald Trump's press conference with Putin after their long meeting today, so you don't have to. And in short, it was a complete and total disaster. First and foremost, the most important thing, no peace deal. No ceasefire, no agreement, no nothing. Donald Trump, who framed himself as the master negotiator, somebody who could solve this war in just 24 hours by picking up the phone and calling people, has now failed time and time and time again to do that.
Remember, this dude has been sucking Biden's anus, all right, for years. I just think it's important to note. This dude's been sucking Biden cock for literally the entire Biden presidency. Biden refused to talk to him, okay? Who do you think is getting closer to a deal? Okay, who do you think is getting closer? Do you think it's the guy that's actually having meetings with him, trying to pressure him to making a deal? Or do you think it's the guy that says you can make little incursions into Ukraine and I don't care? Like, aside from being a massive sex pest like you are, Harry Pisson, you are also gay and retarded.
He also called Putin the boss and shouted out Russian businessmen who were in attendance, which is an incredibly weird thing to do when you're talking about ending a war. And then
unless ending the war will come coupled with some sort of financial agreement and some sort of trade deal between America and Russia. Holy fuck, they're all stupid. They're all stupid. Dude, we literally have these people talking to our fellow Americans. Our fellow Americans listen to this guy and agree with his analysis, okay? They are the retards and they vote, okay? Unbelievable.
And later, Putin suggested having their next meeting in Moscow, to which Donald Trump said, yeah, let's talk about it.
Boy. First of all, that's not even what he said. He didn't even say that, bro. Oh my God. He said people giving me a hard time for that one. And why not? If it would make peace, literally, why not? Nah, these people are such ungrateful fucks, every single one of them. These people do not want peace. They want Trump to fail, and they want Ukrainians to die so that they could stand on their graves and virtue signal. I'm telling you, this is the entire fucking, the entire cult. The entire libtard cult is like this, all of them, right? Whether it's standing on Palestinian bodies or it's standing on Ukrainian bodies, they do not fucking care about peace. If they just care about the virtue signal and the grift, they don't care about any of this shit. Like, and this example is so obvious every single time. When it comes to Russia, they all say, we don't even want Trump to negotiate with Putin, okay? We don't even want Trump to negotiate with Putin because that's bad and Putin's a bad guy. You're retarded. If you want peace, you will literally want him to negotiate with Putin. And when it comes to Gaza and Israel, like, you have these retards, literal retards, supporting Hamas. You know, the people that started the war, the people that murder their own people and starve their own people and refuse to end the war, which they could end any day. Since the war began, they could have ended it on day one if they would have surrendered and released the hostages, and they didn't. And you are going to support the terrorist fucks that started this shit. These people want the war to continue. Both of these grifting fucks and every retard on the left that virtue signals like this. They want the wars to continue so they can have their little virtue signal soapbox to stand on. I'm done with it. No one else is calling them out for what they are. In my opinion, they are war profiteers, and they are the most degenerate psychopaths out there. Fuck these people. Let's hope this does get to peace. Obviously, look, I don't like Putin. I'll be honest, I don't. I think he's a bit of a gangster, not gonna lie. But I don't like him as a person. I think that what he did with Ukraine was horrifying. And I don't like Zelensky either. This is one of those two retards fighting situations, and the only winner is the war profiteers. See you in the next one. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.